What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of the Quantum Cast. Welcome, everyone, to the Quantum Cast, the best quantum error podcast here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. We've been creating a lot of content around quantum error, and we don't plan on slowing down anytime in the foreseeable future, guys. I'm super excited about quantum error and covering this game for you guys because it is my most anticipated game of the future, without a doubt, guys. And I'm very excited to see not only what Team Kill Media creates with Quantum Error, the initial, title and what we're hoping to be a long-withstanding franchise, but what this all, is going to encompass. There's definitely a lot of psychological elements to Quantum Error. There's a lot of things that I believe have been taken from, in other games that have come before it, like Dead Space and Left 4 Dead and GTFO. A lot of different games that it looks like it's taking certain references from, even though it looks like it's its own thing. I'm very excited about this title. And I want to talk, guys, in this segment of the show about everything that we know at this point in time about Quantum Error. The big questions being, obviously the release date is the one that's huge for a lot of people in the community, but even other intricacies of this title. Let's talk about it. So, guys, in an article coming to us from Cameron Corliss of Game Rant, Team Kill Media shares footage of Quantum Error running on Unreal Engine 5, which the game is now being made in, which I think is awesome, guys. Obviously, Quantum Error was announced, back in 2020, and when it was announced, obviously it was on the old Unreal Engine, and now it's being made on Unreal Engine 5, which I think is great, right? Even though this was a title that was gonna, plan on being almost like a launch title for the PlayStation 5, I'm glad that they took their time to, just that being the guys over at Team Kill Media, took their time to actually create this title and make it as good as possible from a perspective of not only gameplay, but also from a graphical perspective. Seeing what Unreal Engine 5 can do, guys, I'm super excited about that. The games industry is in a bit of a transitionary period right now as new hardware becomes more popular and game engines receive updates. Unreal Engine 5 has been one of the most notable game engine improvements, with demos showing off just how incredible the engine can be, at least where graphics are concerned. And while it will be some time before games using the engine start to release, some are starting to make the switch, including the sci-fi horror game Quantum Error. Over on YouTube, the Quantum Error dev team shared a video featuring the game running in Unreal Engine 5, which the game is now using. The footage gives fans a look at some of the ominous environments and first-person gameplay, showing off what the game is able to achieve visually thanks to the game engine jump. Even with stylized visuals instead of over-the-top realism, Quantum Error is looking impressive, and I 100% agree with that, guys. I think that I'm so excited that Team Kill is taking their time. They're not trying to just rush this title out. They want to make sure that this thing is perfect for not only, the long withstanding duration of what they hope this to be, a long withstanding franchise, but from a fan perspective, the community perspective, wanting to make it that it's going to have, a lot of replayability and like the wow effect of what they're trying to do here from a story perspective, a lore perspective. I'm so excited to see as this is all coming together slowly but surely. It's going to be really interesting. Now, what's interesting to me, guys, is when a company, and I obviously have heard this before, but a company like Team Kill Media, which the narratives around this are unbelievable, guys. There's 4 brothers that are working on this game. It's had a GoFundMe campaign, a number of different things, right? And so it's not having the backing of like a major publisher or something of that nature. This is 4 brothers, guys, who are creating this title, which creates so many amazing narratives, first and foremost. But secondly, the transition from the old Unreal Engine to Unreal Engine 5, I wonder, like, has that delayed the process in a major way? Because, when you think about it, when you hear that they're transitioning over to a whole new engine, I don't know what the intricacies are of that, guys. I don't really know a ton about game development from that perspective, but I hope it doesn't delay the game significantly. There's a lot of rumors and speculation that we're going to be getting Quantum Error, sometime in the summer of this year. There's also rumors that it could be later this year or even in, 2023. It's hard to say, but it sounds like from the official Quantum Error, Twitter account that things are moving along nicely. Now, The lighting featured in the gameplay is particularly notable as the illumination gives the entire video a foreboding ambience. For a game focused on delivering tense moments, lighting will be a central element as it's a useful tool for setting the player's focus on a specific area or in many cases concealing what's lurking just beneath the shadows. While Quantum Error didn't look bad before the Switch, there are some obvious improvements here. Besides the lighting, the guns in the clips appear to be more detailed than their previous counterparts, though that could simply be because of Unreal Engine 5's other graphical improvements. Regardless, the game is looking better than it once did, and that's an overall positive for those that have been following it. And yeah, I agree, guys. I mean, obviously, what Quantum Error and the guys over at Team Kill have showed us up to this point, it's all been a work in progress. None of it's been finalized. So from a graphical perspective, we knew that this was a work in progress, and it was something that was certainly, I think we're getting closer and closer to getting this game on the shelves, guys. But I'm one that wants them to take their time to make sure that this is perfect for the community at large. Obviously, we don't want to get the game, and then it has, bugs and glitches and things of that nature. And so I'm totally down with them taking their time. And I think that, yes, we can definitely tell a major difference from the old Unreal Engine to Unreal Engine 5 from a graphics perspective. Now, Quantum Error was announced about a year ago, promising a cosmic horror experience with FPS elements. News about the game has been relatively spaced out, with the Unreal Engine 5 update being one of the beefiest announcements that developer Team Kill Media has made in a few months. It's possible that more of the game is shown at some sort of upcoming showcase. Obviously, guys, we know that there have been, I think what's great about with Team Kill is they're very open about, sharing information with the community. Obviously, this was a GoFundMe. There was a GoFundMe campaign that came out, and they have been very willing to work with the community here, like feedback from the community, which I think is absolutely awesome. You don't get this a lot from developers. A lot of times they have their own vision, and they may take bits and pieces, but it's usually bits and pieces of the community after the game comes out, and they have to change things up. Like when we start thinking about games like Call of Duty or even smaller games, that are out there, even like Dead Space and games of that nature. A lot of times they'll release the game, and then once it comes out, then they start listening to the community feedback. I love that they're listening to it right here, right now. There's still no release date for Quantum Error, and transitioning between game engines undoubtedly takes some elbow grease, but it seems to be chugging along nicely. Unreal Engine 5 is a pretty big leap for both Quantum Error and the industry as a whole, so it'll be interesting to see just how big of a difference the transition makes. Quantum Error is in development. So obviously, guys, I do think, and it's going to be interesting to see, has this delayed them? And that'll be something that we should definitely ask the developers over at Team Kill, because, I'm sure it kind of put them back behind schedule slightly. Now, does that mean that they're, not going to be able to meet their deadlines and things of that nature? It's hard to say. The way I look at it, though, once again, guys, is I'd rather them take their time, create an incredible, horror experience for everyone. So when the game comes out, the reception, the reviews, everything that comes out is overwhelmingly positive for a horror title. Because obviously, guys, the horror genre, even though it's grown drastically over the years, it still seems to be a niche genre. A lot of, people are into the FPS shooters like Call of Duty and Halo. And so when you look at something like Quantum Error, that is a small development team, it's going to take every one of us in the community to really help build this franchise, or what I should say, a game that we want to be a long-withstanding franchise. But with that being said, guys, let's talk about the story. So the story of Quantum Error is when the Monad Quantum Research Facility, 30 miles off the shore of California, is attacked by an unknown entity engulfing the complex in flames and putting it into a full containment lockdown. A distress call is sent for mutual aid to the Garboa Fire Department in San Francisco, California. Fire Chief Sturgis answers the call and sends you, Captain Jacob Thomas, your partner Shane Costa, and a crew by helicopter to the Monad facility. Your mission is simple: save as many lives from the burning complex as possible and get out. However, what starts as a rescue mission quickly plummets into darkness when you arrive and find that things are not as they appear. Quantum Error is a cosmic horror FPS in development by Team Kill Media. So there was a lot of talk, guys, obviously, and I've been very vocal on the YouTube channel saying that I hope at some point or another, Obviously, there's only so much that we can expect at this very juncture in time from Quantum Error and the guys at Team Kill. They're trying to create this incredible experience, a single player experience, right? I've been very vocal that I believe co-op is very important for a title like this to have legs for the long duration of time. Obviously, I thought, initially that maybe you'd be able to play as, your Captain Jacob Thomas as the main character, but you could also play with a friend, and your friend could be, potentially Shane Costa, and you could play it kind of from a co-op perspective. Now, obviously, I don't really want that from a campaign perspective. I want it to be a single player experience, because when you do co-op, it doesn't feel as unnerving and as scary, right, as it, would be, obviously if you were just by yourself. So that being said, I want them to keep it a single player story from the campaign perspective. However, co-op from the perspective of playing with another friend or a squad of people to go up against waves and waves of these enemies in a certain setting, similar to like Gears of War's Horde mode, I think would be absolutely incredible for this game. We don't know if that's something that's down the pipeline, but what I will tell you guys is that Quantum Error and the guys over at Team Kill are very open to listening to what the community is thinking and what we kind of want. Not so much that they're going to listen to everything that we want, guys, but that is something that is on the top of my list for sure, as something that hopefully would be added at some point or another, so that after you're done playing the single player story a couple of times, you can come back with your friends and play against in a PvE setting sort of scenario. We do not have confirmation on that as of yet. Now, the story though, guys, this is a story that really is captivating me. It reminds me of things like Dead Space. It reminds me of games even like Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood, GTFO. It's got elements of those, right? It really feels, though, to me, more of a spiritual successor to Dead Space. I'm looking at it from the perspective of a first-person shooter. Dead Space is kind of what I'm getting at, because we know that the Callisto Protocol is going to be the true spiritual successor. There's also been reference to like Resident Evil and other games. I'm very glad, though, that Quantum Error is kind of standing on its own, though, at this point in time, with the different, creatures and the different, enemies that you're going to be going up against, the closed-in corridors and such. I am very excited about this. The last thing, though, guys, is, of course, how are we going to be able to play the game? Well, obviously, we're going to be talking about this, guys, later in the show, but a way in which that you're able to play the title, it looks like at first the game's going to release on PlayStation 5. Then it's going to be on the PlayStation 4 to release maybe later on PlayStation 4, and then on Xbox Series X and S. And it sounds like Quantum Error and the guys at Team Kill have mentioned that it's going to be kind of like in that order. They're going to release it one at a time. So it will be technically exclusive to PlayStation, at least for the foreseeable future, until later on at some point it comes on Xbox. That being said, though, guys, what do you all think about Quantum Error at this point in time, about everything that we know at this point? How excited are you? Let us know in the comment section down below. And guys, definitely check out the Quantum Error Universe Discord page. It's in the description down below. Check it out, guys. We are talking about everything in the world of Quantum Error, and I'm super excited about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Quantum Error content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. Two of the biggest questions about Quantum Error at this point in time is, first and foremost, the release date, obviously, guys. When are we going to be able to play the game? And number two is, how are we going to play the game? So in this segment of the show, I want to talk about how we're going to be able to connect with Quantum Error, what we can kind of do in the meantime while we're waiting for this highly anticipated game for those of us in the horror community. So let's talk about it. So first and foremost, guys, the release date. Obviously, we don't know as of yet if when the release date is going to come. But that being said, obviously, there's been a lot of people asking Quantum Error and asking the guys over at Team Kill Media when we're going to be able to play the game. Does it look like the summer of this year? Does it look like later this year, 2023? When do we think it's going to come? And Nate Rosenblum, he tweeted at the official Quantum Error Twitter account saying, summer release still looking good though. And Quantum Error came back and tweeted and said, we shall see. And so obviously, guys, this has got me incredibly excited, because obviously they're saying that there's a possibility here that summer of this year, 2022, there's a good possibility we could get our hands on Quantum Mare. Now, take it with a pinch of salt, guys. We've got four guys, four brothers. This is why the narratives around this game are so incredible, that are working on Quantum Mare. Four guys that make up Team Kill Media. Obviously, there was a GoFundMe page that raised some money, guys, to help get this thing funded, because they're not going the traditional route. They don't have a publisher at this point in time. These guys are working from an independent perspective, creating this title. And what I will tell you is, if you showed me the gameplay, you show me the trailers that have come out to this point, I would have never known that four guys are working on this title. And that's why I'm so excited about it. Not just because of it being a horror game, not just because it's a first-person shooter that looks like you can also go into third person. There's so many other reasons why I'm so excited for this, because these guys are not only doing all of those things, but they're listening to the community. They're listening to what we're saying. Now, they're not going to listen to everything that we say, guys, but there's definitely real conversations going. They have a vision for what they want, but they want our feedback, which is another thing that I love that you don't get in the traditional sense in video games. And so, that being said, the release date. Take summer 2022 with a pinch of salt. I'll definitely keep you guys posted as we get more and more information. If I hear anything from the guys over at Team Kill about that, I'm sure there's hope that, we're closer rather than far away from this game coming out. But I would say that from a marketing perspective, we're probably going to see them start ramping up marketing as time goes, whether it comes out summer 2022 or it comes out later this year. Now, the second part of this, though, guys, is going to be none other than how we can play this title. So there was a tweet that came out, a guy asking, hey, Quantum Mare, how am I going to be able to play this title? Well, Quantum Mare tweeted and said PS5, PS4, and Xbox Series X and S, depending on how things go, they will also be released in that order. So let's put it this way. Number one, PS5 is going to be obviously, where it's starting. Now, this was a game, guys, that was going to be a console exclusive to PlayStation when it first was announced back in 2020. Things have changed, which I'm so excited about, because especially like an independent game like this, guys, I want as many people to be able to play this game as possible and connect with this game as possible. So coming out on PS5, that's great. Comes out on PS4 shortly after that, and then Xbox Series X as well as S. Hopefully, maybe it'll come to Xbox Game Pass, which would be absolutely awesome. Just as many ways that we can connect with this franchise as possible, and that's why I've been so vocal when I say that I'm very excited for the single-player story and the lore and everything that encompasses Quantum Mare, but I'm hoping that other things get added along the journey, like co-op, playing like a horde mode, like against waves and waves of enemies, things of that nature, I think would be really awesome to have added to Quantum Mare as time goes. We'll have to wait and see. But so that being said, guys, it's not a console exclusive any longer to PlayStation, which is great. It's going to release first there, and I think that makes a lot of sense. PlayStation, guys, is still the dominant console at this point. It makes a lot of sense to release there first, and then obviously come to the other consoles later. I think is going to be absolutely great. Listen, guys, this is a title that day one you're going to want to play, because I think that as we're going to be creating a ton of content around this game as time goes and keeping you very much so up to speed as more information is coming out about it. I think that whether you're a PlayStation or Xbox person, there's a real excitement here for you for Quantum Mare. If you're big into the horror community, and especially a game like this that's a small team working on it, your voice matters. And that's what I think is so huge, because a lot of times when you talk to the developers or try to get your voice heard to some of these big developers like, obviously Activision, Blizzard, or, the guys over at Call of Duty with Infinity Ward or Sledgehammer and Treyarch, obviously your voice may never be heard, right? Whereas with this, if there's something that you really want, you're passionate about the horror universe and just horror games in general, this is going to be a great game for you to really voice your opinion. And us as a community are going to really help blow this thing up, is what we really want to have happen. Be the next huge horror game of our time. That being said, though, guys, those are the ways that you're going to be able to play Quantum Mare As time gets closer, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to speed as we get more information. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. How are you going to be playing Quantum Error when it releases? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Quantum Error content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. One of the things about Quantum Error I'm really excited about is obviously the overall story, guys, but more intricately about the characters in particular, like just learning more about the main characters, the side characters, the NPCs, things of that nature. And Quantum Error release some images of some of the, of the NPCs that are going to be coming out. So 3 of the NPCs, guys, that they, posted on their official Twitter account. And I want to talk about this because obviously there's many NPCs that are going to be in this game. And this gets me really intrigued because this tells us that there's going to be like storylines, I believe, with each of these different NPCs, which is really exciting. So let's talk about it, guys. Quantum Error tweeted out, guys, saying 3 of the many NPCs that you will try to save in Quantum Error. These are made from the likeness of 3 of our awesome fans. Dean is part of Monad Security, Mike is the Monad Fire Chief, and Will is the lead doctor for Monad. And look, this is really exciting. All 3 of these guys, I can't wait to learn more about them from the perspective of as we're trying to save them in Quantum Error, what we learn about each of them is going to be something I think really special. The one that's really intriguing to me, actually, guys, is Will, who's the lead doctor for Monad. What I really am intrigued by him, just from the image alone, it tells us like he almost looks damaged or broken just from the perspective of this picture in particular. Now, obviously, guys, we're going to learn more about him. He actually this character actually kind of reminds me or looks similar to I believe it was John Seed in Far Cry 5, and just kind of looks a little bit damaged overall, and I'm very intrigued to see the storyline there. But I'm very excited to see the storylines, obviously, of, the fire chief, of the security for Monad. I am really excited to see each of these individuals as a whole. The other thing is that Will Pank, who's actually playing as the lead doctor for Monad, he has actually stated that he wants to come onto the show at some point, or he'd be willing to come on the show at some point. And I would love to have him on the show, guys, to kind of talk about not only his character, but Quantum Error just as a whole, guys, and his backstory with all of this. I think it would be really awesome. Let me know in the comment section down below. Would you guys want to see Will Pank on the show where we can talk about Quantum Error? And I think it's really important to get these guys on the show to really talk about it. I'd love to get some of the guys over at Team Kill to come on the show as well to talk more and more about the process of Quantum Error and just kind of the past, what they've had up to this point. What brought them to Quantum Error at this point in time, I think would be absolutely awesome. And you guys can check out all of the Quantum Error Universe stuff, guys, in the description down below. We've got the Quantum Error Universe Facebook page, the Discord, as well as the Twitter account that you guys can check out and have real conversations about Quantum Error in depth. I'm very excited about it, guys. These NPCs, which one are you really interested to find out more about in Quantum Error? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Quantum Error content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. We announced on Twitter that we were launching the Quantum Error Universe Facebook and Twitter accounts, guys, as well as the official Discord. And I'm super excited about it, guys, because not only were we announcing that the launch of the Quantum Cast, and I was so excited about this. This has been something that's been in the works now for quite some time to have an official Quantum Error podcast here on YouTube. And I'm just incredibly excited about it, guys, and we're planning on continuing for the very long foreseeable future. That being said, Quantum Error, what we did was we've got the Quantum Error Universe Twitter and Facebook pages, as well as the official Discord that you can also go to connect with Quantum Error. This is something, guys, that we as a community have to be the ones that grow this thing in a major way. the developers, those guys over at Team Kill Media, they're going to do what they can, guys, to push this thing as much as possible. But it's going to come down to us as the community to stream the game, to create content here on YouTube for the game, and to really talk about it, have real conversations, whether we're talking on Discord, on Reddit, which you guys can check out the Quantum Error Universe Reddit on, obviously on Reddit, guys, and then, the Facebook page as well as the Twitter page, Quantum Error Universe. Guys, the thing is that we've got to be the ones really pushing this thing forward. And if you don't create content and, you don't necessarily want to have major conversations like in Discord and places of that nature, following your favorite YouTubers that are creating content around it, checking out your favorite streamers streaming the game and such. I think it's really important, guys, for a title like this that is going to be a small, game from the perspective of, obviously, the development team is very small. This was something that had huge expectations, guys, massive expectations for us in the horror, community. But we've got to be the ones as the community to really grow this thing in a major way, talking about it, creating content around it. And look, if you're passionate about Quantum Error like I am, guys, this is going to be something that could be very special in the future. And so, look, there's a plan here to make this a really long-withstanding franchise, but we as the community have to really grow this thing in a massive way. And so I'm really excited about that, guys. I'm excited for what that's going to all entail. I think it's going to be something that could be very, very special for the future. But it's really going to come down to us, guys, as the community, growing Quantum Error as a community, as from the perspective of the lore, the story, to just all the theories and everything that's going to come out about this game. I think there's going to be a ton of it, guys. Hopefully this game leaves us wanting so much more. And that's what I'm really excited about, guys. Whether it comes out, later this year, like summer 2022, or later into the fall, or it comes out in 2023, we're going to be talking about this game consistently here on the YouTube channel. So you guys should definitely check out the Quantum Error Universe Facebook, Twitter. Obviously, we're on Discord as well as on Reddit. Definitely check it out, guys. Let's have some real conversations about it. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. What are you most excited about from Quantum Error? Let us know. And for more Quantum Error content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. With the excitement building and the anticipation getting to an all-time high for Quantum Error, I want to talk, guys, about the gameplay of this title. And I would love to get your guys' thoughts about this in the comment section down below. The gameplay of Quantum Error. It's not something that we've really talked about up to this point in time. We've had the gameplay reveal trailers. We've had like 15 to 18 minutes worth of, gameplay walkthroughs and things of that nature. And I want to talk, guys, about what my early thoughts on the gameplay for Quantum Error, how I feel about it, what makes me really excited about it, what makes me really intrigued about it. Let's talk about it. And like I said, I'd love to get your guys' thoughts about this in the comment section down below. So let's talk about it. So look, the gameplay, guys, for Quantum Error, up to this point, to me at least, looks incredible. Now, first of all, full disclosure. Over the course of time, guys, I started primarily as a first-person shooter type of player, right? My very first game I ever played on the original Xbox was Medal of Honor Rising Sun, and that was a first-person shooter, and I enjoyed it for what it was, guys. As time went, my first game ever on the Xbox 360 that came with my Xbox 360 was Gears of War, so then I was more so introduced into the third-person shooter type of genre. Now, first-person shooter, I've always been better at. I've always enjoyed it more, but I've always respected the third-person elements of games as well. So, with that being said, Quantum Error has this really interesting concept where it seems like they're merging the two worlds in certain ways, where you're able to see things from the perspective of third person as well as first person, which I absolutely love this concept. Looks like it's primarily, guys, going to be a first person shooter, but third person looks to be an option, at least in certain capacities, which makes me very excited. Now, the gameplay from the different weapons. We probably haven't seen all the weapons that are being utilized in this game, guys, from the shotgun to the pistols to different weapons, right? Overall, though, I love the way the guns sound at this point. The way that it looks really great. As far as the way the weapons looks awesome, and it looks like there's a lot of variety as well there, which is very exciting to me as well. Now, I love the chainsaw, guys. The chainsaw looks absolutely awesome. Kind of like gives me those vibes of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre / Gears of War type of elements, which absolutely looks awesome. So the weapons, they look and they sound great, at least at this point in time. The different enemies that you're going up against, what a variety of different enemies. That's something I'm really excited about as well. The enemies and the variations there look really great, guys. I mean, we're talking different types of enemies that you're going to be going up against. You think of games like Dead Space where you're playing different types of enemies, but a lot of it's like necromorphs and things of that nature. And, as time went, you're playing bigger bosses and you're going up against harder enemies. This looks like it's got a lot of variety on these different different level designs and things of that nature. It looks like you've got a lot of different types of enemies, which I'm so excited about. And then the bosses. There looks like there is some very intriguing bosses as well in this one. That gets me, very obviously I'm a little bit intimidated by some of these bosses, and I hope that they haven't showed us the best of what's to come. And I don't think they probably have over a team kill, guys. I think that there is going to definitely be some surprises here. From a gameplay perspective, it looks smooth. It looks like very clean. The way that from the camera motion to the way the HUD looks, I love the way that it looks. I like how things are very integrated into certain ways, right? Not quite like Dead Space, but things are integrated in their own way, which I think is awesome. Now, on the flip side of that, it looks like certain enemies take a little bit longer than others, but sometimes it doesn't make a lot of sense, at least in my mind. Some of the enemies look like they should be killed very quickly, but they don't. And then there's like this big spider-like creature that they showed off in the 18-minute gameplay trailer that looked like it was very easy for us to kill. Now, it's hard to say. Maybe different weapons help kill certain enemies easier or quicker, things of that nature. But that's something I wonder if it's going to be kind of a balancing thing that they're going to have to do after launch, or even, before launch to after launch. Obviously, guys, what we've seen at this point has been a work in progress, but that's something that is kind of captured my attention a little bit. Certain enemies look like they definitely should have been killed a lot sooner, and that definitely creates some fear factors, without a doubt. Blowing a head off of one of these creatures and they're still alive is a very interesting concept. And like I said, guys, I mean, it's got me very intrigued. The gameplay overall looks awesome. I'm so excited about it. You can kind of traverse the world by driving around, it seems at times. It looks like it's primarily going to be a linear experience, which I'm really excited about. I think that when you got a pretty linear experience, you maybe have a couple of areas where it's semi-open world, I think is fine. But you got that, going into those closed corridors. When we're talking a cosmic FPS horror shooter, we're talking, closed off corridors, very narrow, and that really keeps the scares alive, right? And that keeps things very on the edge of your seat consistently. And so I got to tell you, I'm very excited what I've seen so far for the gameplay. It's got me incredibly excited, guys. And I would love to hear your thoughts. Up to this point in time, the gameplay, haven't really talked a lot about it at this point. What do you guys think? I mean, obviously, where there's elements of where it looks like gravity's going to be, kind of coming into the fray, where it's going to be interesting, right? I mean, it looks kind of like, are we going to get this, like been talking about, somewhat of a spiritual successor to Dead Space? A lot of people are comparing it to other games like, Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood, GTFO. But to me, this is a first-person type of Dead Space title, right? Where there, lots of different creatures and things of that nature. Obviously, we'll have to wait till we get our hands on the game for us to really be able to kind of express and see exactly what they are planning on doing here for the future. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about this in the comment section down below. The gameplay up to this point, what do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Quantum Error content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. I want to put something into perspective, guys. The narratives around Quantum Error are unlike any title I think I've ever covered on the YouTube channel. And that's why this is one of the many reasons why I'm going to be covering Quantum Error in a major way here on the YouTube channel moving forward. The narratives around Quantum Error are something incredibly special, at least to me, guys, because not only is this a small team of guys working on this game over at Team Kill Media, but if you watch the trailer and the gameplay and things of that nature from this game, you would never know that these four guys, first of all, there are four guys working on this game. Secondly, the four guys that are working on this game over at Team Kill Media are brothers. And this game was a GoFundMe campaign to raise money to get this thing made. I believe they raised around $65,000, which is absolutely incredible. But when you really start thinking about it, it's like unbelievable that you have four guys, first off, they're all brothers, and they're working together in unison on this title to make this thing, you know, what they're hoping to be a smash success that people are talking about for years and years to come. And you know, really trying to also at the same time transcend the space. How do I mean by that, guys? Well, when you look at this, this is a first-person shooter cosmic horror game, but it's got third-person elements to it as well. So not only is it four guys creating this story and everything that this game's going to encompass, but it's, you know, they've got third-person elements, first-person elements. I mean, the graphics, they've moved over, you know, from the old Unreal Engine to Unreal Engine 5 now. They've made the transition from being a PlayStation exclusive to now they're going to be releasing it on Xbox as well. It's unbelievable. It is unreal when you start diving into the history of this thing. Team Kill Media, obviously, they've worked on, you know, another title in the past. But with that being said, you know, Quantum Error is really going to be like their second title. And they're hoping that this thing is going to be something really special. They believe in it. And the third thing that I love about this development team is not only do they not have the backing of a major publisher, which I believe, guys, at some point they will, right? For sure. I believe that they're going to work out a deal with a big publisher, probably after this title comes out. And at some point or another, you know, this is going to become something pretty big, especially us as the community. If we're doing our part, creating content around the game, streaming the game, talking about it on, you know, Facebook, Twitter, on Reddit, Discord, all those different places that we can connect. You guys should check out Quantum Error Universe, guys. That's where we talk about everything in the world of Quantum Error on all of those different platforms. But I think that it's really important that we as a community continue really supporting the developers trying to push this thing forward, whether that's getting the merchandise, whether that's getting posters, which, by the way, I've got to get a poster for the background of the show, guys, without question, for Quantum Error. Let me know where you guys think a good place would be to get Quantum Error posters. But all in all, guys, the narratives around this title are unlike any I've ever experienced ever from a gaming perspective. Just, you know, I'm sure there's other development teams out there that are very small that are, you know, obviously working on independent games and things of that nature, don't have huge backings and things of that nature. But this is one, guys, that really hits home for me because I'm a massive horror fan, absolutely love horror movies, horror games, and seeing that this is a small team working on this, a first-person shooter, which is obviously my favorite. I love first person. I love third person as well, for like Gears of War obviously being the main one, but having it like elements of both of those things. Dead Space, one of my favorite horror games of all time. This seems to be taken like references from that, being somewhat of a spiritual successor to Dead Space, at least in my opinion. I'm really excited about that. And the biggest thing is how open Team Kill Media is to listening to the community, what the community thinks about certain elements of this thing, whether you're talking about, you know, the health system, whether you're talking about the weapons, the creatures, the enemies that you're going up against, the characters, all of those things make this something very interesting, but something that really makes you feel connected to the community and connected to the development team over there at Team Kill Media, because they are so open to hearing everything that's that we as the community are hoping for and things of that nature. And so there's so many narratives around it that aren't being talked about in main media. We got to change that, guys, because I think that this could be something incredibly special for the future, not just with Quantum Error, not just with a sequel or a trilogy or whatever. I just think that this could be something really special from, going into other forms of media and such. I really believe that there could be a vision here for something much bigger than what we think to be, this small development team, a small independent game that's being made. I think that this could be something incredibly special moving forward. Now, you got to take baby steps, one step at a time, guys, but I am incredibly excited about this from a narrative perspective. Can't wait to continue covering it, guys. Can't wait till we get our hands on the game that we can really dive into, have real conversations about it. But in the meantime, you guys can, of course, check out all my Quantum Error content here on the YouTube channel. Also, check out Quantum Error Universe, guys, on Facebook, Twitter, Discord, as well as Reddit, guys. We're on all those places talking about Quantum Error in its entirety. Let me know what you guys think, though, about the narrative surrounding Quantum Error. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And for more Quantum Error content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. A question I've been getting, guys, about Quantum Error is this a title that's going to be coming to potentially Xbox Game Pass? Is it going to be coming to other consoles and things of that nature as time goes? Is this something that could be coming in the future to Xbox Game Pass? So let's talk about it. So, guys, the really quick answer to this is I have absolutely no idea if there are plans at this point in time for Quantum Error to go to Xbox Game Pass. What we know at this point, number one, is the big thing being the release date for this title. There's rumors that this game is going to be coming out summer of 2022. I'll give you guys more information as time goes about that. But number two is the ways that we can play. We talked about this earlier in the show, is primarily, and this is coming straight from Quantum Error, that it's going to be releasing on PlayStation 5, and that's where it's going to start. Then it's going to release on PlayStation 4, and then Xbox Series X, and then Xbox Series S. Now, could it be coming to Game Pass at some point? I think there's a very good chance it very well could come to Game Pass at some point. I think it would be very smart for the guys over at Team Kill Media to at least look into that because, Game Pass, guys, at least to me, is the Netflix of gaming. Makes a ton of sense for Xbox people who are, looking for new games to play on there that don't necessarily want to go out and buy more games. So you can just, play them right on that Xbox Game Pass and with that subscription. I think Quantum Error could be something definitely that comes to that at some point, and I hope it does. I would absolutely love to see it. That also comes down to if Quantum Error doesn't get picked up by a different publisher at some point, which, is obviously a possibility as well. Could it get picked up by a publisher, a Sony team or, from, an Xbox team? Who knows if this is going to get picked up by one of the major publishers out there. But I would say that I think there's a chance. There's obviously a chance for any of these things, right? The guys over at Team Kill Media have been very open with all of us that, if we have questions and things of that nature, to ask them, right? And they're going to give you a pretty honest answer when it comes down to, certain elements of this thing. Certainly, they're not going to give us promises that they can't keep. Like, let's just say, for example, the release date. They have not given us an exact window or exact time frame of when this game's going to release, but they're kind of teasing us, and I'm sure they have a date in mind that they really are trying to meet at this point in time. So they have also said, though, that PlayStation 5 is where it's going to start, and then it'll kind of go in that order, right? They're going to kind of crawl before they walk before they run before they sprint kind of mentality, and I think that's a really good idea, right? You start with PlayStation 5, which we're going to be playing it immediately, guys, when this game comes out, and then obviously when it comes out on PlayStation 4, and then Xbox, we'll obviously have those comparisons to Xbox and PlayStation, but PlayStation makes a lot of sense, guys, because it's still at this point the dominant console at this point. Now, Xbox is certainly making waves as time goes, buying out, Activision Blizzard. They got Bethesda now. There's definitely a lot more competition that is going to be coming into the fray, but PlayStation at this point still has the majority of, players at this point in time. Could it come to Nintendo Switch? I mean, look, guys, the more ways that you can connect with Quantum Error, especially a small title like this at this point in time, a small development team, a niche, in a niche genre, I mean, the more ways you can play it, the better. Now, would Switch pick it up? I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I would love to see it on the Nintendo Switch at some point or another. It would be something that I think could be really special, but I'm not sure if that's something that's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to come to Xbox Game Pass. Definitely, guys, we'll have to ask the developers, that being Team Kill Media, what they think, if that's something that they've thought about. I'm sure they've thought about it, guys. I'm sure they're kind of strategizing. I think really they're strategizing, when can we get this game out? Let's and the marketing, when that starts ramping up and such, I'm sure we're going to be hearing more and more as time goes. But let me know, guys, what do you all think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think Quantum Error will come to Xbox Game Pass at some point in the foreseeable future? Let us know in the comment section down below. And for more Quantum Error content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the Quantum Cast. And if you guys did, make sure you guys leave a thumbs up, guys. Helps out the YouTube channel in a massive way. Guys, check out Quantum Error Universe on Facebook, Twitter, Discord, as well as Reddit, guys. Those are the best places that you can go to have real conversation about Quantum Error in its entirety. All the content that you guys want to see, stay here with Zero TV. Make sure, though, guys, that you subscribe. If you haven't already, you'll get notified every single time a new Quantum Error video goes up on the YouTube channel. With that being said, everyone, I hope you guys stay positive, just keep grinding, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.